So how many Pharisees do we have in the house tonight? Am I the only one? And how many tax collectors, poor sinners, do we have in the house tonight? Again, I'm the only one. We see this gospel tonight, and we see these two extremes placed out there. Jesus tells this story of the tax collector who stands in the back of the temple area and will not even approach and raise his eyes to heaven and makes this very simple prayer over and over again: Lord, just have mercy on me, a sinner. Have mercy on me, a sinner. And then we have the other one who, out in town, he lives a very ostensibly holy life as a Pharisee. He does everything he's supposed to do, and he looks holy to everyone. And he comes in and he knows it. And that is his prayer to God. Thank you for making me look so holy. Look at all that I do. Do you see all of my stuff that I do, or those things that I don't do? And the tax collector, to everyone else's view, doesn't look holy. Out and about in the day-to-day movings of his life, everyone sees him, they know he's a sinner, that he's a traitor, that he has betrayed their nation to the Romans. And so, interestingly enough, the one that everyone would naturally look down upon is the one that Jesus says goes home justified. And the one that everyone would assume is holy is the one who goes home without forgiveness. The old book by its cover adage. But I wonder how many of us are Pharisees or are tax collectors. And I would probably say that we fall somewhere in between. Most of us in our life's journey are neither complete Pharisees nor complete tax collectors and sinners. But our faith journey is this teeter-totter, back and forth, where there are times where we do feel good about ourselves and look at all the good that I do, and I'll pat myself on the back, and at least I'm better than that one. Or at least my life isn't as messed up as that one. And then there are times when we feel that we're all alone, and it's just me, and good Lord, if I didn't have you, I would have nothing. And my life is a shambles, and I am a sinner, and I just have to offer my apologies over and over again. Somewhere in between, we find ourselves. And it's in that place that we come to an authentic expression of religion. Because both the tax collector and the Pharisee do something right, and both of them mess up something along the way. Where is the tax collector right in what he does? The tax collector is right in opening his heart before God and being honest with God. I am a sinner, and I need your mercy. There is this understanding of who he is really. I have been the man out there taking advantage of my brothers and sisters, and I need your forgiveness. And so he has that right. The Pharisee, what does he have right? He is doing good things. He is praying. He is fasting. He is paying his tithes. He is doing good works. And those are good things. There is the faith in the heart, and there is the faith of the hands. That both of those have to be engaged. The tax collector, on the one hand, we get the sense that he's not living his faith. He may have it buried inside, but he's not living it. And the Pharisee, he's living, but what is he living? Is it really a faith? Or is it a notoriety that he's living? A sort of Pharisaical celebrityism that he wants to be seen. And it's really now here blending the two together. They're positives that we find where we ought to be. That if we be a little bit of that tax collector who opens our hearts in authentic sorrow, and a little bit of that Pharisee who is willing to go out and publicly live our faith, we find ourselves somewhere where we're supposed to be. Blending those two things together, bringing the external and the internal as one. that then becomes the call to holiness. Jesus speaks today of the one who is justified and the one who isn't. To be justified is to be brought back into balance, that my life is no longer off kilter, that I am where I'm supposed to be. And though I continue to fall, I continue to ask for forgiveness. And as I continue to do my good, I don't brag about it, but I offer my gratitude. That in both of these ways, we find holiness if we blend the two together. You and I come here today then, and we look at our own lives. And the very question that I ask, how many Pharisees? How many tax collectors? And we have to really look at our lives. When have I been, or when am I being that Pharisee? When do I look at my life, myself, or rather maybe I don't hold myself up, but I at least put others down? Because there's two ways of raising oneself up. By climbing on top of others, or by just pushing others down. There are times when we probably do both. And when have I been that tax collector? When have I been that sinner? When have I been in need of forgiveness? We're a little bit of both. The world in which we live is a fallen world. The world in which we live is not perfect. And unfortunately, we hate that. I mean, that's a good thing, that we hate that we're not in an imperfect world. But unfortunately, what happens then is it becomes very hard to love the imperfect. And that's where Jesus throws us this image of the tax collector and even the Pharisee today. It's hard to love the imperfect when life isn't the way we want it, when things have happened that I didn't want to happen, when people do the things that they're not supposed to do. It becomes very easy to judge. It becomes very easy to live Pharisaically or to live unrepentantly. But we remember that if those broken things weren't out there, we wouldn't be here, because Christ would not have come. Jesus came to the broken. He came to the messed up. He came to the ones whose lives were nothing, so that he could make them something. And this is why Jesus favors, in the end, the tax collector. Because here's the one who is nothing, who is broken, and who needs desperately. It's also the one that's hardest to see the goodness in. And he challenges his people by using a tax collector whom they hate. That is the one that we have to love. The one we hate the most is the one we have to love the most. Because that's what Christ did. He came and he loved us who were sinners. And that's what transformed us and changed us. So we come here today, yes, recognizing who we are, but we come here also today recognizing who everyone else is as well. And knowing that I need to love them, both interiorly and externally. It would be a whole heck of a lot easier if everyone just did what they were supposed to do. But we don't. And in that case, love is the only thing that conquers. Not ostracization, not punishment, not degrading, not all of these other things, but love. Love is what transforms things. So as you and I go forward today, with a little bit of the tax collector and a little bit of the Pharisee within us, we look to love ourselves and others. Not too much, not too little. Somewhere in between. Where is your Pharisee? Where is your tax collector? How can you bring them together in a way that honors God by loving our neighbor and saving them, lifting them to heaven?